What's up guys, this is Yasser. Welcome back to my channel. You're watching Yasser's Fit Track, and today I'm going to talk about another 6 perfumes or attars from XLNC Perfumery. So this is probably my 4th part. I've already done 3 parts of XLNC Perfumery. Have some really great inspired versions. You can check it out. I'll give you all the previous video links in my video description box. In case you're interested in ordering, I'll also give you their Instagram page and also their contact number. You can contact them and get your orders placed. So coming in at number 6 is their private blend, which is oud based, and that is called Oud Affection. Okay, this is a 25 ml spray version and they do not have the oil version of this. This smells very animalic, very leathery, and it is only meant for those who like the typical animalic leathery sort of Hindi oud. It is not meant for beginners. Do not blind by it if you're not into heavy typical Hindi oud, which is very animalic and very leathery as well. So don't take a chance if you're not into oud at all. But if you love that sort of animalic, leathery sort of heavy Hindi oud, then definitely try this. The only thing that I did not enjoy here is, if you talk about real Hindi oud, the dry down or the base has that resinous sweetness which comes as and when it dries down. I did not see that sweetness of that resinous accord. Okay, so it could be possibly interpretation of real oud, or maybe that they have used a very low grade Hindi oud, because I've smelled low grade Hindi oud as well, which is real, not synthetic. That also has that leathery and animalic accord, but it misses that resinous sweetness. If you watch my video on real oud, Hindi oud and Cambodian oud, I would have probably covered that in Ajmal series. So I've told you different parts of the agarwood tree from where they extract the oil. So it depends on whether you extract from the naturally formed fungal growth, or if you have extracted from the non-fungal growth of the same agarwood tree. So you can have different variations in the smell, and also the pricing goes up and down based on from where the oil is extracted. So this can either be a synthetic version, which is very well done, except that resinous sweetness which you will miss in this. Overall, the performance is super heavy. You can easily expect projection for about 3 to 4 hours, and it easily lasts 12 plus hours. Okay, so performance is not an issue here at all, but it smells very animalic and leathery. So be cautious before you try this. I would definitely recommend this only for those kind of heavy oud lovers. So next one is an inspired version of Amouage Reflection Man. Okay, now to be honest, the opening does smell a bit of Amouage Reflection. I would say about 80%, but as and when it dries down, it goes a little off track. So I did not feel that this is a great clone of Amouage Reflection Man, but still as a blend of its own, I would still say it is done really nice. It only costs 300 for a 6 ml. This is a 6 ml oil form. You can also get spray versions from them. I think they have 10 ml, 30 ml and 50 or 60 ml. I do not really remember. You can check with them in case you're interested. But this is oil version 6 ml, which costs 300. So it opens up with that typical neroli and pink pepper, which you also get in Amouage Reflection Man. So it does smell 80% similar to that in the opening. But as and when it dries down, when you start getting that cedarwood, patchouli and vetiver, those 3 notes is what do not smell exactly like the cedarwood, patchouli, vetiver which you get in Amouage Reflection Man, because different companies provide these oils, and it is not necessarily that everybody's vetiver, patchouli and cedarwood should smell the same. Each brand can formulate that in a different way. So it does give the Reflection Man vibe in the opening for about 80%, but as and when it dries down, it goes a little off track. So you cannot really say it still smells like Amouage Reflection Man, though the blend on its own is still a great choice for the summers for what price they are quoting. So performance is still good, 2 hours of projection and good 7 to 8 hours of lasting. Okay, so coming in at number 4 is another one from their private blend, and that is called Mukhalat Hussain. This 6 ml costs around 500, and let me tell you, this opens up and reminded me of Ajmal's Khususi Patchouli. Okay, so this is actually a patchouli dominant fragrance. So if you like the typical patchouli fragrance, not the Acqua di Gio Profumo style, because I don't think that's natural. I'm not sure if the Ajmal Khususi Patchouli is also natural, because they have different ways of creating such blends. It could be synthetic, but the Khususi Patchouli from Ajmal is slightly different. It's on the nice light green sweet patchouli, rather than the dark green spicy patchouli that you get in Acqua di Gio Profumo. So if you like that kind of Ajmal sort of khususi patchouli, then you have to try this one. It does not smell exactly like that, but the patchouli here definitely reminded me of that. It also has a bit of bergamot in the opening, and in the mid you would also sense a bit of tobacco. And the late dry down, you would get musk, cedarwood and frankincense. Okay, this is a typical Middle Eastern blend, but it is done in a very nice way. I would definitely say this is a crowd pleasing Middle Eastern blend, provided you like at least a bit of those Middle Eastern blends. It's not the typical heavy incense or the heavy black musk or heavy rose. It is definitely blended very nicely. I would definitely recommend this one if you like slightly on the Middle Eastern style. But the performance is also great. 3 hours of projection and 11 to 12 hours of lasting. Private blend from XLNC that is called Mukhalat Hussain. At number 3 is Nishane Annie's inspired version. This costs around 300 for a 6 ml. I've already compared this with the original Nishane Annie. So here I see a slightly more sweetened opening compared to the original Nishane Annie. So here the praline or the benzoin sweetness is more dominating right from the start. But in the original, you get more of the orange and vanilla. So this one is a bit more sweeter in the opening compared to the original. But after 1 hour, that sweetness of benzoin or praline settles down a bit. And that is when you start realizing the orange and vanilla here. And that's when it gets a lot more similar to Nishane Annie. I would still say about 80 to 85% for this price. I would still say that it is great in an inspired version if you're looking for something on the budget side for Nishane Annie. In the late dry down, you get patchouli, sandalwood and cedarwood. So overall, definitely a great blend, but do not expect the opening to be exactly like this. But definitely after 1 hour, you would see a lot of similarities, about 80 to 85%. The performance is also brilliant. 3 hours of projection and 15 hours of lasting on my skin. Okay, if you're looking for something that lasts really good, this is definitely a must try. So this also lasts good, no doubt, but this is more on the summer version. This has that extra sweetness of benzoin or praline, which could make it a little too sweeter for the summer. So that's the only thing that I see different in this inspired version. Now coming in at number 2, this is another brilliant inspired version of Hermes H24. If you have not seen the original, this is a very new release from H24. It looks like this, the retail pack, and it has a bottle like this. This is a very new modern type of summer scent. It has a great lasting as well, but the only thing is they have tried to create something new, and it has that metallic sort of opening along with that citrus vibe, and it has that nice beautiful rosewood note in the base, which makes the fragrance last really long. Now the only difference I see here is with the metallic note. I don't sense that metallic note here in this, which I get in the original, which to some people they might like this more than this one. In fact, me as well, I'm not a huge fan of that metallic opening. So I would rather say that this has a better opening because this has the nice orange touch to the opening rather than that metallic note which I get in the original H24. But as and when it dries down, let's say after 45 minutes to 60 minutes, which is after 1 hour, you get a lot of similarities with the original because the metallic note in this also settles down, and that's when you start getting the rosewood base. This also has the typical rosewood base, and after 1 hour you would see a lot of similarities, say about 85%, and this is very cheap as well, just 200 for a 6 ml, and that's a bang on price, guys. I think if you like this one, this goes around 6,000 for 100 ml, and 50 ml costs around 4,000, which is pretty expensive, I would say. But if you're okay with budget fragrance which smells almost like that, I would definitely say this is a great choice. Okay, the performance is also brilliant, 3 hours of projection and 8+ hours of lasting. Now coming in at number 1, this is my favorite from today's list from XLNC, and that is an inspired version of Pure Havane by Mugler. Okay, I have not seen any clone of this one till date. I have neither seen clone of H24 as well, which is an added advantage here. So Pure Havane inspired version by XLNC, top notch, guys. But don't expect the similarities in the opening because the opening has more honey and cocoa, less tobacco. This has a more balanced honey and cocoa along with tobacco. Okay, so the tobacco spiciness, which is creamy in this one, is more evident. So the tobacco is not like the Shura type of tobacco. It has a very different Western style of tobacco, which makes it more creamy along with honey and cocoa note. You also get that here, but the tobacco is not so prominent. The honey and cocoa is more dominant here. This has a more balanced opening, so that's where you see the difference. Now, after 30 to 45 minutes, that sweetness of honey and cocoa settles down, and that's when you feel that this matches a lot with the original. So after 1 hour, you will get a very nice feel of the original, and it also has a very beautiful vanilla note to support in the base, which makes it even more creamier, just like the original. This is also brilliant, guys. If you're looking for a pure Havana clone by Thierry Mugler at a very reasonable price, I would definitely recommend this one. This also costs very cheap, which is just 200 for a 6 ml. Very beautifully done. Highly recommended, except for that 1 hour, which smells a little off track because of that sweetened honey and cocoa, which you don't get in the original. But after 1 hour, it's just fantastic. Okay, and the performance is also brilliant, which is about 3 hours of projection and 8 to 9 hours of lasting. So definitely good in terms of performance as well. So that's about it. Those were the 6 inspired versions plus private blend from XLNC in today's list. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching again. See you next time soon. Keep sharing the videos. Cheers.